Hi, welcome to Chris Cook for You Too. Have I got a great recipe for you today? Okay, so tonight I'm going to be making a one dish meal. There's nobody here but me. So I'm going to be making me a ribeye steak. But the ribeye steak is about a good inch and a half thick. It may be a little bit thicker than that. So I'm going to probably cook it a little bit longer than I normally would. And I would like medium well. That's the way I eat my steaks. This is ribeye, but I want you to see it's ribeye without the bone. I want you to see the streaks of marble. See, that's the streaks of fat that's running through it. Those fat juices that are running through that steak, that's what make your steak real tender. So this steak should be extremely tender when it gets through cooking. Now I'm going to go away. I'm going to put my seasonings on there. I'm going to show you what I'm going to be cooking. I'm going to have this with a side of cabbage because that's what I feel like I want. I've already washed it, and I'm just going to take a paper towel and I'm going to pat dry it. It has been sitting out room temperature, and I'm going to allow it just to sit there for a few more minutes. I'm going to pan fry it on top of the stove, and then I'm going to put it in the oven. So when I put it in the oven, I'll probably put it in there at 425 and allow it to cook maybe about 8 minutes on each side. It might not be quite 8 minutes altogether. I'm sorry, 4 minutes on one side and 4 minutes on the other. If it looks like it's not quite done enough, then I'll go and cook it a little bit longer. When I pan fry it, it's going to be a small amount of olive oil and butter. Very small amount. Once I take the steak and put it in the oven, then I'm going to saute up my mushrooms. And here I just flattened out a piece of garlic. So I have mushrooms and garlic here. And I have onions that I just cut kind of thick. And the only thing I did was took my hand, once I got it cut, I took my hand and just put my hand through and took apart my onion rings. Now, it's not necessary to do that because they're going to fall apart once they're in the skillet frying up anyway. So this is what I'm having. I'm going to make me a little bit of side of cabbage. And to season it, I have this rosemary, garlic, roasted garlic, rosemary, and sea salt. So this is my salt and my seasonings that I'm having. I love garlic on my steak. And the only difference is sometimes I put rosemary on it, sometimes I don't. This was purchased at Ross, and you can get these at places like Ross, TJ Maxx in the back. You can get all your gourmet seasonings. A couple other stores may have them too. So I'm going to go away, get this steak all ready, season it up, and I'll meet you at the stove. Be right back. Okay, now I'm at the stove. In the skillet, I have a little bit of butter that's probably, it's almost melted. I'm going to add just about the same amount of olive oil. So the butter was about a teaspoonful. The olive oil is about the same thing, and I want to get my pan hot enough to fry up my steak. I've already seasoned the steak. I got it seasoned on both sides. It's already room temperature, so it's ready to fry out. Now, two things you don't want to do. One thing, you don't want to pierce your steak, okay, because you don't want the juices to flow out of it. You want those juices to stay in, and you want to make sure that before you get ready to eat it, that you allow it to rest covered up for about 10 minutes. Now, this is a quick process. I was going to set my oven at 425. I went ahead and set it at 475. Reason B is because this is a super thick piece of meat. I did not expect it to be that thick. See, that is a real thick steak. So I'm going to fry it up on both sides just to get me not only a crust on it, but to get both sides of it as well as the end. And that's on a high heat to get both sides of it as well as all around my outsides browned. And then I'm going to stick it in my oven and allow it to cook the rest of the way. So I'm going to let this sit in this pan and go ahead and fry up. When I get ready to flip it to the other side, I will bring you back and show you exactly what that looks like. I'll be right back. Remember, this is dinner for one, and I know it's going to be enjoyable. Be right back. Okay, so my steak has browned on one side, and I'm going to flip it and allow it to brown on the other. And I'll bring it back once that side has browned up. I'm going to brown it on the sides, on all four of these sides. So I might just do that and then bring it back before I stick it in the oven. Be right back. Okay, so the steak is ready, and I think it's brown on both sides. I'll flip it. Yeah, there it is on the other side. And now I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm going to put it in. I'm going to do it a little bit less than 4 minutes and 4 minutes. I'm going to do it 3 minutes and 3 minutes because it feels like to me that it's just about where it is that I like to eat my steak. So I'll go ahead and stick it in my oven. And I'll flip it before I bring you back. And then I'll bring you back. Now, in this skillet, I'm getting ready to saute up my onions and my mushrooms, along with my little piece, that's equally amounts of olive oil and butter, along with my little piece of garlic. So I'll get that prepared and I'll bring you back. Okay, the steak is done. I flipped it once. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out so it can rest. And it's pull apart good, so I know it's just like I want it. So I'm going to cover it with this foil. And I'm going to leave it sitting in the back while I saute up my onions. Now you want the juices to redistribute themselves. So that's why I have it in the back. Sorry about that, but I burnt myself with that hot skillet. So now I'm gonna go ahead and heat this up, and then I'll saute up this. I'll bring you right back. Okay, I'm gonna add my onions and allow them to cook for a little while, and I'll bring you back when I get ready to add in, which should be about a minute, when I get ready to add in my mushrooms. We'll be right back. Okay, now my steak is resting over here. I have me some cabbage that's in the back pot because that's what I wanted with my steak. And I got my onions that are in this skillet and they're cooking up, and I'm going to go ahead and add to that my mushrooms and my small piece of garlic that I had in there. And I did put some of the roasted onions and garlic and onions on this to season it up. Probably will add just a little bit of salt to it if that's actually needed, and that's it. So I'm going to cook these up in the pan. It shouldn't take me that long. I'll put my plate together and I'll come back and show you what my dinner looks like. One person eating alone, but I guarantee you it's going to be good. Be right back. Okay, now I'm back, so I'm going to go ahead and dish up a plate because my mushrooms and onions are done. My steak has been resting for a while, so it's straight. That's a lot of meat right there, and I know I will not finish it. My cabbage in the back, everything is just enough for me. That is ready. I love cabbage. I'll put some cabbage down on my plate, and then I will add some of these sauteed mushrooms and onions. To this meal. Well, that's what dinner alone really looks like, and I'm going to go ahead. I want to clean that up a little bit. I'm having cabbage as well as my steak. This is a ribeye steak with mushrooms and onions sauteed. So I'm going to go ahead and cut into the steak. And this is the way I like my steak. I know a lot of people don't eat it like that, but I do, okay? So I just want to show you what this looks like. And if you wanted your steak to be a little bit more done, the only thing you have to do is cook it just a little bit longer. Oh man, that is really, really good. But that's what Chris is having tonight. I'm having the ribeye steak along with the sauteed onions and mushrooms, and along with some smothered cabbage. Okay, try this. I think you're truly going to enjoy it. I know I will. And as always, thank you for watching. Chris Cook for you too. Bye. Please follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Chris Cook for you too. And don't forget to share this video. Bye.